Hello, Rob. It's a pleasure having you here today with us.
Hi, Stella. It's so nice to meet you finally.
So let's get started. I'm very curious about hearing about a bit about your background, about your story, and how you reached this point that you're today.
Yeah, I have one of those sort of fairy tale stories. I was really involved in playing video games years and years ago. In 2004, I met someone named Shane and someone named Phil who ended up being my business partners. And we met online playing World of Warcraft. Coincidentally, all three of our careers went in different directions, but somehow ended up in the world of software quality and testing. And while we were working together in that space, or coming together and separating as our careers cross each other, we ended up launching software together. I worked for a company where I led the product launch on what was at the time the first software only automation platform for mobile apps. That was in 2015, 2016 timeframe. And what we realized is that as we were getting older, we were no longer in our 20s, that playing games all the time wasn't the best thing for us to do. So we decided to build one instead. And we made a game using Unity, one of the common game engines. And it was awful, and nobody will ever see it. But the big lesson from there was how hard it was to do testing and QA in the 3D world. And well, we know how to build testing tools, and we like this whole gaming space. So why don't we combine our interests and our professions and make something on our own? The one of the interesting things that I found about XR, AR, and VR is that the underlying technology that makes XR work, like real-time 3D engines, Unity, Unreal, things like that, the input mechanisms like gyroscopes and controllers that make navigating in a 3D space possible, they're so close to gaming that it was a natural progression for us as we grew our business to expand into XR. So I'm just lucky that my hobbies and my career have been able to be so close to each other.
Okay, I'm not much of a gamer. I used to play a bit when I was little, but
Yep.
what you describe is a bit of a whole universe to me with
Yeah.
very many interesting technologies. I can only imagine how it is to test AR and XR technologies.
It
And
is.
it sounds, yeah,
No, please
sounds
ask your
very
question.
challenging.
It is an entirely new world. If we're both sitting at our computers right now, so you've got your keyboard in front of you, and if you push a key, you hit, you turn on the button, you turn it off, and you do that over and over again, and you end up writing stories and creating conversations. And everyone who wrote the software that we're using on this platform, they did the same thing. When you move into the 3D world, you're not just thinking about working in a plane. You're now working with depth. We're talking about the clock that's behind me, or the closet door, or the chair that's supposed to be hidden from, but it's barely in frame right now. Uh, as you interact with those objects with depth, the complexity involved becomes so much greater. And that's really what caught our interest and where we went, what's being done in the QA and testing world using automation to streamline the process. It doesn't carry over to this 3D space. And that's where we put our efforts.
Sounds very interesting indeed. Are there any challenges in your field on technology or other aspects that you may face every day?
Almost always. I can't have a
Almost
day
every
where
day,
I
every
don't get
step.
new challenges. We working in the XR space. There's new devices and technologies that are coming out on such a regular basis, and it's what actually helps us keep motivated. Last year, for example, or earlier this year, Apple released the Vision Pro into the U.S. market, and now they've grown it to a few others. We were getting calls from some of our customers 6 months before the announcement saying, so we're working with a hypothetical device, and it doesn't have controllers, but it does this and does that. Can you guys support it? And they couldn't tell us what they were working in. We could sort of figure it out. And we couldn't directly help them because they couldn't tell us what they were working in. And we had to sort of develop this language in between so that we were able to actually let them do their job. And then at the end of the day, they were able to launch their products to their new consumers on this new platform that one of the largest companies in the world is trying to see grow. And they were able to take their existing testing and just move it over. So it just worked. That's exciting to me. And so it's both a challenge and it's a massive opportunity. One of the other things that tends to happen in this space is not too long ago, Meta released an update that broke a bunch of their products, a bunch of their software on it. Like Beat Saber was broken for a while, and that's the flagship game on the Quest. And so everyone's moving so quickly that running the sort of day one validations is just something that you can't do if you try to test it manually, which is really where we come into play to try to speed up and make that process make easier. But those challenges are the same, whether it's on a video game or an AR application or a VR application or a business application running on a tablet that just happens to use a game engine. All of those scenarios, it's the same underlying technology.
Yeah, it's the same underline, but seems like every case has a special something to learn from
Yes,
scratch.
very true.
Yeah. Okay, it seems like you are very much consumed from all this uh, environment, atmosphere. I'm getting an atmosphere here. So, is it easy for you to keep your work-life balance, or is it something important for you, or you just don't want to get out of this at all?
No, yeah. So if you think about working a 9 to 5, my 9 to 5 is 9 a.m. to 5 a.m. with 4 hours of sleep. Like, you just keep go, no matter how much time I put in a day, there's always more to do. So like my job being the leader of the one of the leaders in the company is my day can start with working with marketing in the morning and then building up the holiday schedules because we've got Christmas and 2025 to get ready for, and then working on our website and email servers in the afternoon. And literally that was my day yesterday. I still haven't done any real work, right, on actually moving things forward. So it does feel like no matter how much time I put in, there's always something more to do. On the other hand, I've never been much of a list person. I've gotten a lot better at that recently. I will now put in, I want to go to the gym. I want to see friends. I'm going to go to a different city and see my family. And by putting all these things in, that really helps the work-life balance. But one of the other things that I really benefit from is I do travel a lot. Just like I'll be traveling to visit you guys in Athens. And one of the benefits I get is that I'm lucky enough to get to spend time with friends and family that live in different cities, where a lot of us, when we work a traditional 9 to 5 in an office, we don't have that kind of flexibility. So I try to find the joy and the happiness where I can and just work as hard as I can other than that. And that just sounds so cliche as I'm saying it, but it really is the truth.
No, it's true. We all struggle, but yeah. I like the thing that you have everything on a list because if it's not planned, it's not done.
Yeah, if it's not written down, sometimes it's not real, right?
Yeah. Okay. In our audience, there might be some new joiners in the professional life or people that may be interested in what you do. What your advice be to them? How would they start or go step by step?
It's a really good question. I think my biggest advice is that we can draw from what's been done in the past to move things forward in the future. I've talked about how mobile, right, going back a decade, and I'm starting to date myself when I say things like this. But when mobile apps came out, we had no idea what the model and the paradigm was going to be. That the consistent design patterns that people were going to adopt, that the developers are going to adopt, to deliver a familiar user experience and just get beyond the basics to making things better. We used to use the phrase, does it delight, a lot without really quantifying or knowing what that meant. People that are coming into the industry now, you guys have the benefit of 50 years of computer science to draw from. Not to disparage stuff that's come before now, but when you think about it, most applications are simply a variation of fill out a form, wait for processing, get the results, and then repeat as many times as you need. I don't think that in the XR space, we've really found out what the new version of that is going to be, but we will find it. And trust the body of work that already exists out there, and feel free to use it, because this growth in the industry is something that's going to benefit all of us.
Okay. Can you give us a small teaser of your talk, of your upcoming talk? What
Yeah.
should we expect from you?
So, a lot of times when people think about what is testing, they think about
Mm-hmm.
how it's slowing me down, right? If I do this, it means I can't put out something else that's new. And in software development, we're so obsessed with going faster, automated build servers, AI code development tools, getting to the market faster, beating the next guy. And how I think about this is, if you think about a race car for a moment, like an F1 car, and
Mm-hmm.
we can go fast by taking all our entire weight budget and just giving it a great big engine. But it's just as important that the things that we build to make it go faster, we also can help the driver have control, right? He can slow down with brakes, steer with tires and steering mechanisms, maintain control with aerodynamics. So, but at the same time, I wouldn't over-engineer the vehicle to put all of those systems as a priority, or else it just won't be fast and competitive. What I'm going to be talking about is ways that I think that you can help balance priorities as a developer, so that knowing where you can go faster, where to slow down, and when to start making your turns so you actually make it around the hairpin and don't crash into the wall. That's what my talk's going to really be focusing about. But I really do hope that I'll have a couple points I'll cover, and some might be more interesting than others. But the thing I'm looking for is that I deliver some practical advice, something that can be used right away, and that when whoever's there, whoever wants to come hear me talk, leaves, they can apply it at work literally the next day.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like after your talk, we are gonna think about testing in a different way.
I can
I will
only hope so.
definitely. Okay, so in a few weeks, the stage of Open Conf will be yours to present your speech. I would like to know how you feel about it. Are you excited? Are you nervous? A bit of both?
I am incredibly excited. Um, I've both the country that we'll be in Athens, the venue where the show is taking place, the organizers that I've met so far that are going to be part of it. Everyone has been so welcoming, accommodating, supportive, understanding that sometimes I haven't been able to meet your guys' deadlines, and with the frustration, I appreciate that you guys must feel from that sometimes. But all of that coming together into one place with thought leaders and people who are interested, and different talks and presentations, I could not be more excited about this event. I've had the busiest 6 months of my life, and quite frankly, OpenConf next month I would not be surprised if it's a capstone on my entire year.
Thank you so much for your words, Rob. Anything you would like to add apart from what we discussed already?
No, I think I would just say please come, but I think that's what you're going to say. So
Yeah,
I
that's
probably
exactly
can't do
what
as
I'm
good of a
gonna
job as you
say.
will.
Last but not least, I would like to invite everyone join us at OpenConf on 22 and 23 of November. And we are looking forward to see you there, Rob, very much. Thank you for your time today. It was a pleasure again.